Welcome back. It's still your favorite teacher, Austin from the Fonzo Academy. So we're going to look at experiment number 5, where we're going to prove that oxygen is produced during photosynthesis. So we know during the photosynthesis, the requirement is that carbon dioxide reacts with the water in the presence of the light and also the chlorophyll. That's the requirement. And the production is the glucose. And the glucose, all the previous experiments were based on the what? Testing for the starch, or testing for this glucose that form the starch, where we're testing the presence of the starch. But now we're testing another product, which is the what? Which is the oxygen. We're going to test whether the oxygen is produced during the what? The photosynthesis. So how do we prove? Normally, the oxygen are produced at the what? As a bubbles. So how do we know that these bubbles that are formed are oxygen or they are not oxygen? We do what we call a what? What we call a glowing splint. What happened during the glowing splint? During the glowing splint, we take this test tube that have the bubbles, right? And then we have our matches. Then we light these matches. Then we place the stick of the matches inside the what? Inside this test tube. If this stick light brighter, it means now if it light brighter, it means there's a presence of the what? The presence of the oxygen. If the oxygen is present, then this stick will glow brighter. We call this process a what? A glowing splint. This is the test for what? For the presence of the oxygen. So let's look at the experiment. So how do we conduct our experiment? To conduct the experiment, we have the beaker, and this beaker should contain a what? Should contain a water. And then we place our what? Our plants, and in this case our plants is a what? Is our pond weed. And at the top of this pond weed, we have our funnels. And this funnel, we place it at the top of the pebbles. Pebbles are the small stones. So we place this funnel at the top of these pebbles, and at the top of the panels we put our what? Our test tube. And this test tube help us to what? Help us to collect the what? The oxygen that will be produced due to the what? To the photosynthesis of this pond weed. So also we do the following. So this is our apparatus now. This apparatus, we place it to the what? At the sunny area. At the sunny area, it will what? It will photosynthesize. Also, we place a natural sodium bicarbonate. What the importance of this sodium bicarbonate? Remember, sodium bicarbonate, they add a what? They add CO2. They're important because they add a CO2. So we must make sure that we have a CO2. We also have the photo or a light, because they are required for the process of the what? The photosynthesis. Also the what? Also the CO2. It's also required for the what? For the photosynthesis. So sorry, I mean H2O. So we have CO2 from the what? From the sodium bicarbonate. We have H2O here. We also have the what? The light from the sunny area. We know that this one have a what? Have a green pigment, which is a chlorophyll. So now, after placing it the sun area and also adding the sodium bicarbonate, we remove the what? We remove the test tube. And as we remove this test tube, we then have to count the number of the what? Count the number of the bubbles that will be formed per minute. We do this before removing the test tube. We're counting the number of the bubbles that will be formed. If it's a 1 minute, at 1 minute we have 1 bubbles, at 2 minutes we have 2 bubbles. Then we remove this test tube. As we remove this test tube, we are going to test whether the bubbles represent the what? Represent the oxygen or represent other gases. Maybe it's a sulfur, maybe it's a sulfuric acid. How do we prove that the gas that is formed is a what? Is an oxygen? We do what we call a glowing splint. So glowing splint, I already explained it. We place the what? We place this matches, this stick that have been light inside the what? Inside the test tube. If it glow brighter, it means now if it glow brighter, it means that oxygen is what? Oxygen, it is what? It is present. So now we can conclude, if it glow brighter, we can conclude that oxygen is produced during the what? During the process of the what? Of the photosynthesis. I think we are done with this experiment. We're gonna do another experiment. Thank you.